You gotta know, I'm feeling love, made it gold. I never loved her.
This episode of the Tales of Macaque podcast is brought to you by the University of a great, expansive universe full of infinite resources at infinite amount of time. If that does not sound agreeable to you, I understand. That's fine as well. Our guest today is the great Jesse Bell. Jesse, I don't know his exact rank in 10th Planet, but he's pretty high up there. Purple, brown, whatever. He's a savage. Great guy. He's been traveling around for a while. I first met him in Costa Mesa when I visited the gym about a year ago. And he's a big reason I actually ended up coming back to 10th Planet. You know, he's just such a nice guy, and I thought that maybe everyone would be like him. Unfortunately, not everybody can be Jesse Bell, but to anyone listening to this podcast, this is kind of on a time crunch because Jesse is leaving town soon. But if you're listening to this and Jesse's still in town, hit him up for mobility. It's private. He says at the end of this podcast, all Monster Squad members, anyone listening to this podcast, $20, and he'll show you some awesome mobility and some jiu-jitsu. I did a class with him, a private lesson, and it was awesome. We talk about it in this episode, but it's all shoulder and mobility and all greatness, all sorts of greatness. So I think you guys will enjoy this podcast. The song is by Chet Faker. Maybe we'll just let this play out. And that's going to be the intro for today. I'm trying shit out. Thanks for listening, guys. Enjoy.
The body that lies is built up on looking as all that remains before it's begun. You gotta know,
I like
I'm
that
feeling
one.
love.
Boom. Let's go. Tales of Macaque podcast. Jesse Bell. What is going on, you sexy motherfucker? How are you?
Swell.
Are you?
Yep.
It's sad, man. What's going on?
Nope. Not sad.
Really?
I'm not sad at all. I'm
Not
happy.
saddened by this beautiful day, this nice backyard we're sitting in, this nice garden of my parents, this tea I'm preparing. This doesn't sadden you?
No, it's paradise, actually. We have mountain grass hut tea.
Yeah, that's where I get my tea from. Mountain Grass Hut. Shout out to the legend, Dan Smith, sending tea from Taiwan.
I feel like samurais drank this tea.
It's not, dude. So, it's not far off. Samurais were in Japan. Japan's known for its green tea. And this is China. China doesn't have many samurais. They had more kung fu masters. But this particular tea we're drinking today, Sheng Pu'er, is the original tea according to legend. And it was the first tea brought to China by the same guy who brought Buddhism to China, the same guy who brought kung fu to China.
Whoa.
Chinese stories always do this. They just blend
This is
in
the
a couple
warrior
legends.
tea.
It is the kung fu tea, man. Like, the reason this tea came into existence was because of this legendary guy, Bodhidharma. He's the one who walked from India to China to bring Buddhism. He's
I've heard of him.
80 years old at the
Yeah.
time. He came to China and he's teaching them all these like cool things, and then he became very determined to get enlightened. And so he sat under a tree and was like, I'm not fucking leaving until I become enlightened. And then he fell asleep. And he got so angry at himself that he stood up, ripped off his eyelid, threw it in the ground, and out came tea.
Whoa.
So for all the monks who want to get enlightened, you don't need to rip off your eyelids, just drink the tea.
I heard
Fulfills
that's
the
how
same purpose.
Sakuraba came up with knee bars.
Is that true? It's the
Yeah.
same thing?
Yeah, he just sat in the
Enlightenment?
ring and wouldn't leave until they reversed the decision.
Okay.
I actually went to China.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice, dude.
Yeah. Hong Kong and Shanghai.
Cool. What'd you do there?
Mostly was in shock from their culture.
Well, what shocked you at first?
You know what really shocked me was a few things. One, there was some interesting smells.
A lot of weird smells.
Also, you could feel like the red of the communism. You know, like you could feel like there's like vehicles that will zoom past you, and you're like, whoa, for sure, like army, like some weird shit. You know, like.
But this would be in Shanghai, not Hong Kong.
Yeah,
Hong Kong
when you
would
hit
experience that.
mainland, it's like that.
Yeah.
But
So
that's what I would consider China.
Right.
Hong Kong to me is like it's Britain. It's not China.
Yeah.
There's nothing Chinese about that place. It's like a huge, clean, beautiful, like club looking skyline. It looks like you're in a club, and then everyone is like more well educated than you are and will like correct your English whenever you speak it.
Right.
They're like incredible people.
Super well educated.
I love it.
But
there.
it's merging back into China.
Cool.
Like, Britain had a 99-year lease on it.
No, I know they got
I
rid
went
of it, yeah.
out, and then so it's slowly becoming more Chinese, and so it's gonna be interesting to see like how it
Whoa,
transitions.
yeah.
Like, this is a weird moment in history for it.
Yeah.
So when you went on this trip, man, first you went to Hong Kong and then to Shanghai? So
Yeah.
I've never been to Shanghai, but I've been to Hong Kong several times.
I think that's why it was a culture shock. Because
Yeah.
you get to Hong Kong and you have this, like,
A crazy place in and of
expectation,
itself.
and you're like, this is I would live here. And then you go to the third world, and you're like, this is not where I want to live. It was scary, man. It was, what's the scariest part about it?
What?
Was that feeling where you're like, I'm just I'm the smallest human being on Earth. Like, you feel so insignificant. When you look up at the cosmos, when you see like 1,000 little black heads in like one elevator, you're like, dude, I don't matter. There's so many people on Earth.
Take a crowded subway in Shanghai, just feel insignificant.
Too many people. There's too many people. It scares the hell out of you. There's more people weaving in bicycles between cars and in dead stop traffic than there are people in cars, which is everywhere. You look at the buildings, and they have like this because Shanghai's expanding so quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So they have like this brand new apartment complex, skyscraper. The thing goes on up to the clouds, and it's covered in laundry. Like, it's covered in clothing draping over the porches. It looks like a slum.
Right.
But it's it's the weirdest thing, because the building is like spotless, brand new, but they slummed it with all their garbage and like pigeon coops and like weird shit on their porch.
Yeah.
It was so weird.
That's why China's the coolest thing, man. It's like, because it was like the best country in the world for like 1,000 years. And then 100 years ago, it went backwards. And so we're like one of the lucky few that we get to see it through this weird transition. Like, one of the weird things is Chinese are now traveling for the first time, Chinese citizens. And so they had all these weird issues, like a guy brought a turkey with him, like just a dead cut up turkey in his bag. And they had to explain to him, like, you can't fucking take a dead turkey on an airplane, sir.
Yeah.
Like,
They always try to import weird shit here too.
As they should.
I just tried this tea.
What's going on with this tea?
It has an essence of elegance. No, I'm just kidding. What I am gonna say though is that when I was in China, they were pushing this stuff down my throat.
Yeah.
Like, every single place I would go to, if you sat down, some random person would like shuffle up to you and like pour you this tea. It would be like in a cup with like seaweeds in it. Like, you'd see like vegetation inside of it, and it would just be hot boiling water, and then it would just sit there, and you're expected to just drink it and then keep refilling it everywhere I went, dude.
Yep.
Whether I was in like an office of some like manufacturing building, like just like some friggin', like place they're making t-shirts or something, and you sit down right when you walk into this little shitty office, someone's gonna give you the tea. Or you go to like Hong Kong downtown, and you go to like the most expensive jewelry store on Main Street, and you just like go inside there and try on Jacobs. They're bringing you the exact same tea.
Sounds like you were on a weird trip. You went to manufacturing places and jewelers.
I went everywhere.
What was the point of this trip?
My stepfather had a heart attack, and he couldn't fly to China, which was his business was schmata.
What's that?
That's what the Jews would call like making clothing. So he was a import-export clothing manufacturer, but from China to here, and he did everything from Walmarts to the biggest designers in the world. So all outerwear. So pretty much any winter coat you ever saw your friend wear, my stepdad was making that stuff. So we had to go there, my mother and I, on behalf of that, to like go to certain meetings for him and keep the business going.
I see.
So that's why it was pretty weird, the extreme places I went to, yeah. Because, you're one hand you're going to like mainland China's slums, and on the other hand, markets, like those markets are intense. I luckily had like security with me almost.
What did you see in the market? A lot of bugs?
No, the
People eating
market.
bugs?
So the market, I'm talking about like where like they're trying to sell you, knockoff Timberlands and stuff. So that was a trip, because I went with my mom one day, and I had to be her security, because she had like a Louis Vuitton purse, and they were all just looking at that like that's a real one, because we're surrounded by booths with fake Louis Vuitton purses, right?
Yeah.
And they know the difference.
They can tell.
They can tell right away. So it's like instantly like, let's snatch that thing. and like probably not, but I felt insecure about it. I was like looking at my mom like a victim all of a sudden because we stood out. First of all, I was Shaquille O'Neal. I was dunking basketballs on everybody in that country. So I was just like towering over the whole crowd, and they were all just sort of like looking up at the big ginger and like this blonde lady with her flashy purse.
Being blonde in Asia is a big deal.
Yes,
She posed for a lot of photos.
She was glowing. And I just had to be like, what fool, like 209. Like,
been stalking on China?
I had to, on everybody, because I was just like, don't even think about it. And then, the next day, I went again, but this time I went alone with our driver. And this dude was
a Chinese dude?
It was a Chinese dude, but like, you know how like, even when I went to Panama, the taxi driver, which wasn't a taxi driver, he was like a personal driver for a lot of people, but for families, like expats with money. This guy's obviously like mob tied. Like he's like obviously a gangster, and like I've learned that about, because with the Panamanian one, that one for real was like I found out, and you could just tell when you meet them. I've gotten to know people real, like I have like a way of observing people, and then I can sort of sum them up quick enough that I know what to expect in a lot of ways. Yeah, and I like to identify them as threats immediately. I love that because when I know they're gangsters and when I know they're crazies and when I know they're like off, I'm ready. Whereas like when I meet a person and like they're just too good, I don't know what to expect, and then it gets weird. Yeah.
How do you perceive me as a threat? Am I pretty threatening?
No, because we do jiu-jitsu, and I don't really perceive people as threats, but I perceive people as like not being genuine, for example. And what was I getting at before, though? What was the story about?
So many different things. China.
Yeah, but what was I saying?
Markets, sketchiness.
Oh, so I went back the next day, and this was cool. I went with this driver, and the driver is obviously like the Panamanian version of the guy I had, right? But he's in China.
Yeah.
So he was just the kind of like intimidating guy. Yeah, and he was bigger than most Chinese guys, and he just was like too calm, just walked with like a sense of confidence that was just different than all the other people. Everyone else was like moving around like trying to sell you shit and pull on your arm, and he was just like towering around, just like
sauntering.
Yeah, like I'm the shit. And then I had this one guy trying to sell me like video games or something, and DVDs, and these were like ones that haven't even come out yet. Like I've seen the trailers for them, you know what I mean? Really weird. And like video games even.
That's
like
a good
they had
selling
like
point.
Demos of video games for Xbox and PS3 that like were not even out yet of games. And they are just like beta versions and stuff.
Those games probably don't work when you plug them in.
Not all of them, no.
Can't count on it.
No. So
$3 and it's not out yet.
No, it was 10 cents. Everything was like 10 cents. I was getting t-shirts for 10 cents, shirts for 10 cents, boots, all kinds of weird things. Anyways, this one guy was trying to hustle me for too much.
As he's prone to do.
Yes.
As is natural.
I've been dealing with it for an hour since I've been there. But this one guy, I was like, oh shit, this isn't even out yet. I want this. And he could see my excitement. And he like tried to hustle as much as he can on me. And the driver caught wind. And the driver was like, no, and told him off. And the fucking guy freaked out, right? Like, you're one of us. How could you betray me?
Yeah.
Like, you piece of shit. And he's like, yeah, fuck you. And he tells me, he makes me come around the corner with him. We walk like 3 blocks. And on the way, there's obvious massage parlor prostitution kind of places. Like little cards of girls in front, and you go up the steps, and it was weird. Spas. And a lot of stores like that. And then as we were walking, there was the triads, basically, like the Yakuzas of China. And there was like 6 of them standing there. One guy in like a white suit it was like a movie, in a white suit in the middle, burnt from the neck down, but also like tattooed everywhere. It was really weird.
A tattoo guy who got burned.
Yeah. And he was terrifying looking. And then there was like 5 dudes with him that were like in black suits, and they were all just big and just standing there in pure confidence. And I'm walking directly at them, like eye contact down the street, and they just like moved out of the way and let me go past them with the guy.
Very polite.
Like I just knew they were gangsters, And then we go to this shop, and everything I ever wanted was in there for movies and video games and stuff. And he just totally different price, like way cheaper, and you just pick what you want. And I went crazy. It was pretty cool.
That's crazy, man. Yeah, I always heard that about China, like it's not like a nice place to be, but I had the opposite experience because I went to Taiwan, and Taiwan is an island that China claims to own. Taiwan claims they don't, but it's just in this weird spot where it's, in my mind, man, it's all the nice things about China just got squirted out there pre-communism.
Okay.
It's like if China didn't go communist.
Yeah.
Because when Mao took over, he like killed all the engineers and all the scientists and all
Yeah.
like the religious guys, all the kung fu experts, murdered them. But some fled to Taiwan. So in Taiwan, everyone's nice. There's
Huh.
no like hustling. There's no panhandling. There's no like shysters. There's
So-
like brothels and stuff. but,
Yeah,
like-
see, like Singapore, beautiful place, like
Yeah.
rich people and stuff. But then there's like this hidden sex trade thing, you know, like. it
Okay,
gets
well, I think that's
weird.
everywhere, man. Like, have you heard that
Yes.
about around here?
It's
like,
in Canada even.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you dig deep enough, every place has that.
It does.
But on the surface, like, Taiwan is just the most amazing place to be. It's the second safest country in the world behind Japan.
Japan's the safest place in the world.
Yeah.
What?
Because, like, dude, if they say, like, if you leave your wallet in the subway station, it'll be there all day. It's a place like that. And obviously in Japan, you could find trouble. Like, you go to the Yakuza, you go to the strip clubs, and you just mouth off to the wrong person or
Yeah,
get
yeah.
too drunk. And you can find trouble, but it's not going to
It's
find
difficult,
you
yeah.
out, like, in the normal process. You can walk alone at night.
And that's just a
usually.
cultural thing, right? Like, it's just
Yeah,
cultural.
because like to commit a crime in Japan would bring so much
Shame to the
so much
family.
shame to your entire family. Like your grandparents would feel shame. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
so
yeah,
like there's a lot of guilt involved in that, and this has produced
It's
this
weird.
like
there's
super polite
there's
society.
a religious guilt here too with
Mhm.
Christianity and all that stuff. But theirs is like they just do it anyways. Like they'll like shoot people and be like, only God can judge me. You know, like,
You know people who do this?
well, we yes.
Do you? Tell me about
Yes,
that person.
I might do it.
You what?
No, but just watch TV and you'll see like, you know,
What
some
TV? I don't trust anything on TV.
cops.
Okay, you think that's a real show? It probably is. I don't
Sometimes.
know. I don't know anything. It's like being overly skeptic. 'Cause,
Yeah.
you know, I know a lot of people like that. Like, cops a real show? Fucking prove it. It's like,
Yeah.
dude, what are you talking about? I have a tea set and like hot water. How do you want me to prove that?
Like, dude, I just came from Vegas. It really is like the show out there.
Yeah, how long were you living in Vegas for, man?
6 months.
6 months. What the fuck was that like? Had you been there before you moved there?
No. Hey, I still haven't even been to Disneyland.
Okay, so that's hilarious, man, because I went to Vegas for the first time like when I was a kid. I went there a couple times before I did anything in Vegas. You know what I mean? So I'd seen it.
Okay.
I'd seen crazy people. I'd seen drunk people in the middle of the day for the first time. Saw that in Vegas.
You want to hear a crazy story?
No.
It's a podcast. I think it's appropriate.
Yeah, no, we actually have a very tight schedule here at the
Oh,
Tales of Macaque
okay.
podcast, and like we tell a story. How long is the story? Is it 3 minutes?
Well,
I'm fucking with you, of course.
The audio is impeccable here. You can hear the plane
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
in the.
Dude, it was worse when Ron was here, man. There was construction at my neighbor's house. But, like, you know Ron, he's the most fun when he's just smoking casually.
Yeah.
And so he was just packing bowls, and I was like, we could go inside and noise would be better, but then he can't smoke. And so we just sat here with construction. So apologies to everyone who listened to that.
Yeah.
Sorry for the planes. But I just think it's nicer out here, you know? Like, we could do it in my
No,
room
it's
and
great.
sound good, but, like, that'd be like a nighttime
That one in
thing.
particular was like World War. You hear that thing? Okay, wait. What was the question before?
You have a crazy
Vegas.
story about Vegas,
Oh,
man.
This story's cool.
I'm ready.
So, I do edibles sometimes.
Edible marijuana is good.
Edible marijuana, and this guy, one of the guys that I know out there, gave me a whole box of cookies, but it was like packaged just like you would get it from a store.
Okay. You got, like, the wholesale?
Like imagine Oreos, but the Oreos were edibles, but it was packaged like Oreos. Like
Okay.
it was sealed, you know, it was like professional.
So is this for like a dispensary in Vegas? Because they have those now, right?
Yes and no, but it was up to those standards or
Okay.
better. So, yeah, I should have said yes. So this guy, like, why would I? So this guy gave me a whole box of them, which is like an expensive. That's like a couple $100s. Okay,
Really nice gift.
bunch of cookies in there, and you know they're like some small rounds, so you want to eat a couple of them and kill yourself. And I did that the first time I had them, and
Did it have like the milligrams on it or anything? Did it have, like, info?
no, this is sketch.
It's
This is totally
no,
sketch.
no information.
Like on some like that cookie might not make you, and the other one might make you too much.
I see. Edibles
So-
in Taiwan are like this.
Exactly. So I hit it, and we go. Oh man, it was so crazy because my coach comes to get me,
Which coach is this?
Casey, and I'm like, as he's coming, it kind of dawns on me that I'm gonna peak soon. Like, I'm gonna feel it soon. You know, like, it's been a good amount of time. Sure enough, he shows up right as it's like, boom, you know, like, it happens.
And are you open with Casey about this stuff? Does
Yeah.
he know about edibles and all that? Like,
Yeah.
There's no secret?
No.
Okay. Because
And
that
then-
would be the worst. If, like, you have to be high and you can't know.
Yeah.
Some people live that life.
Yeah. Well, you don't want to be edible high around him all the time because it's, you know, you're gone and you want to, like, enjoy your time with the coach out on the town, you know?
Right.
So he shows up and we leave right away. And I have no idea where we're going. But I asked them on the way and they're like, we're going to Fremont Street.
There's a party area in Vegas.
Fremont Street is like one of the older, it's in the downtown old part of Vegas. And it's like a strip that you don't drive cars on. It's like closed off
Oh, walking
for
street.
performers and
Cool.
stuff. So like you have, you know, buskers all over the place. And then it's casinos all lined up next to each other. And like outdoor bars and stuff like that. And then there's like a zip line that goes all the way down. Right?
What the fuck?
This
is a
is
unique place.
The most unique place I've ever been to in my life. Like, I don't know how to tell you this, but when you peak on edibles and you walk on Fremont Street for the first time and you didn't expect it, you didn't know what you're getting into. I call it Rue du Fremont, which is like the French way of saying it. When I go on Rue du Fremont after some friggin' edibles, and you see a guy with like no arms and legs and a deformed body drumming at high speeds on a bucket, and then and he's like naked. And then you like look over and see like two dudes making out in a booth, like naked but with G-strings, and then they're like dressed up as minotaurs and centaurs.
These are buskers making out?
Dude.
That's like their set? Like this?
Yes. and then you'll bump into a magician, but the magician is like kind of creeping you out too much. Like this guy's like does meth.
What was up with this magician? Just too skinny?
It's a constant
So I have that problem,
rotating.
too.
So every 10 feet you walk or 18 feet you walk, you're going to bump into another busker.
Yeah.
And it's like going to a freak circus. They're like the weirdest people in Vegas. Obviously,
Is this the whole
man.
point of going to Fremont Street? Like, just
Yes.
to see this madness?
It's like the freak show
that's
area.
that's why Casey wanted to go?
Exactly. It's a
Okay.
fun time. We always go whenever someone comes to town. You bring them to Fremont Street first.
Oh, really?
To me, it's like the coolest place in Vegas. I love it. Like, you go to Container Park and Fremont area. The Strip's annoying. The Strip's not fun. You want to go to Fremont. It's a good time.
Okay.
But not when you 1 a.m. or 12 at night when you're peaking on edibles and you're seeing, and then a fucking gay minotaur, and then like the hottest chicks ever with pasties on their nipples, and then like a guy swallowing a sword, and then and then in between all this are stages like every 50 feet, and the stages have like bands that are covering like hits and stuff, but they're like hair bands and from the 80s.
Cool.
And they're killing it. And what happens is by that stage, because that's like one style, there's other bands playing other styles of music down the street, but on that stage it gets really popular at about 1 a.m, and you have the crack off dance off, which is like all the crackheads in the area, all the meth addicts and drunks, all like create like a mosh pit almost, and just do weird ass dances to the music for
Did you
till
go in
like
the pit?
3 a.m. No, actually, when we got there, it was right before it got weird, like too much people. But we saw a few of them like starting, you know. I saw the crack off dance off, but not in its full form, like full
Is
fledged.
that something I could do without being on crack? Just dance with them?
Yeah, but you might catch hepatitis.
Really? How?
So this fucking street dude tripped me out, like to the point where like I felt like I was in a nightmare. Like this can't be real right now. This can't fucking be real. I'm dreaming. Jesse, wake up. You know, like my reality was not like I'd ever considered it.
This
before.
was your fear and loathing moment.
It was 100% like that. I had a fear and loathing experience in the desert. I could say I did
Awesome.
that for sure.
Awesome.
It was intense, man. I always bring people there if I ever go to Vegas because they need to see what I'm talking about. People who hear this will know what I'm talking about, and they'll be like, yeah, that would be intense. That street's no joke.
Because to me it sounds like, because I've been to Bourbon Street, like in New Orleans.
So have I.
Okay. And
Dude.
so this just sounds like that on acid.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. But more, there's like in Bourbon Street, it's like old.
Very
and like,
old.
So like it's like, it is like a nightmare
It's a
too.
dirt road.
Yeah, it's like being on a dirt road, but everything is like you can this is real. I'm fucking here right now. You know what I mean? Whereas there, everything's like casino and like perfect and shiny and like crazy and everything's attractive and
very unnatural.
Very unnatural to the point where when I'm on edibles, I'm like, is this the Truman Show? Right? Like did they set this up to prank on me or something? Like I went to Container Park. And it's like brand new, right?
Well, what's Container Park?
It's like a square of bunch of containers stacked all in different ways on top of each other.
Huge storage containers?
Yeah.
Like for freighter
But inside
boats?
of them are like hipster, like hot dog shops and like bars and like really cool spots.
Comedy shows?
Sure. Like if you go to Vegas, you want to go hang out at Container Park. It's like really cool. And you just tour and there's a stage there too. And in the middle of it is a jungle gym. But for adults, like a big one, like towers and like crazy zip lines and, dude, all decked out for adults to play on.
You have to pay to get here?
No, to do the jungle gym part, there might be a fee. I'm not sure, but I don't think so.
Weird.
You can walk into Container Park.
Okay.
But like you look at the pavement or like the floor. And it looks like you're indoors in a dome somewhere, and this is fake. This is like we're inside of like a manufactured outdoor experience. You know what I'm saying? And
no,
you just
but
start.
It sounds great.
It's weird, man. And you start losing your sense of groundedness, and you're like, this can't be real. This has to be a dream, even though it feels real. This is too weird for me. I'm from Canada, bro. Like this is not Canada at all.
I have a different question for you.
Yes.
How many times have you done acid?
I've never done acid.
Never?
No, I've never done. I've done mushrooms when I was like a teenager.
How'd that go?
It was cool. I've seen what people are talking about. I couldn't really interpret it enough then because I was too young and stupid.
How old are you?
I was like 14, 15.
And where were you?
I was in the country.
Just out in the woods?
Yeah. And one time it was at a party and it was just like, just had fun. Like I didn't even really understand the experience that was going on because it was just like giggling and playing basketball and like having a lot of fun.
That's a distinction I try to make about acid and stuff is like obviously some people did it and got really spiritual. Like I have a book by Ram Dass. Are you familiar with Ram Dass?
No.
He was like a Harvard professor with Richard Leary. Is that his name?
Okay. No.
I'm messing up that name.
Timothy Leary?
Timothy Leary. Sorry. Richard Alpert. It was the colleague of Timothy Leary. So they're on the same level. Super smart Harvard guys. They fell into psilocybin, got into acid.
Okay.
They're wealthy New Englanders. They have estates and stuff. They took acid like scientifically. Timothy Leary became the spokesman for acid. Richard Alpert went to India, became Ram Dass. That's one outcome from these things. Another thing is like I did it at Coachella. I learned nothing. Had a great time.
Yeah. I have a good Coachella story.
You what?
I have a wicked Coachella story.
You went? Okay, begin.
No, wait, are you ready?
No, I'm never going to be ready for this.
Curtis Hembroff, head coach of 10th Planet Austin, inside the Honored Academy. Let me and Travis Newaza, that there's money to be made at Coachella setting up stages, like stagehands.
Oh, hell yeah.
Do you want to do it? Hell yeah. We'll drive out there tonight.
This is my dream.
We drive out there. You have to, obviously there's like a radius. You can't like drive your vehicle to like a few miles outside of Coachella, right? You have to get shuttled into Coachella.
Oh, right, 'cause parking and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we go to this random hotel where we meet a bunch of other people who are like kind of confused about what they're about to do tonight. And they're all just like stage hands with like wrenches in their hands. And we all like get onto these buses and get shuttled into Coachella. And then we're sitting around for like an hour getting like sort of put into lineups and doing different things and ask questions and stuff and getting like a vest and like a little tag and all these things. And the whole time I'm like, Travis, what are we doing? Like, what's the job tonight? And we're so confused. We're just going along with what's happening. Finally, there's these two girls sitting next to us. Mind you, I had a blunt in my hand the whole time. Okay, I had this nice big blunt roll in my hand. I don't know.
Because you're working?
Just because I smoke blunts.
Going to the office, got your blunt?
Yes. And I'm kind of like holding it like the whole time, want to smoke it, you know? Like that's all I'm thinking about. But we're sitting there and we're talking to these girls and we're like, what's the job? And she's like, okay, so we're probably going to be like from 10 a.m. or 10 p.m. till like about 10 a.m. We'll be setting up stages and moving them to different places. And Travis is like, 10 a.m.? He's like, I can't work till 10 a.m. I have my son I have to go pick up in the morning. This is crazy. And I'm like, yeah, dude, we can't do this. And he's like, yeah, we can't do this. And we're just like looking around like, what are we gonna do? We're in Coachella, like we're on the other side of the wall of the gate. Like right on the other side is like the whole party, right? On the other side of a wall.
What day of the week is this?
I forget. It was like Saturday. It was a big deal.
Like during the concert?
Oh yeah, at night. It was peaking. Listen to the story.
So this is the weekend of the show.
This is the big night.
Okay.
And we're on the other side of the wall in vests. We're like wondering how the hell we're gonna get back to our car.
Yeah.
To get out of here. Like, sorry, Curtis, we're gonna leave you here. We gotta get out of here. We didn't realize what we were getting into. No problem, guys. All right, see you later. And we just start walking away, right? And I got this blunt. Like, I'm like, let's go smoke this blunt. All right. So we start walking, and then he's trying to contact his sister, who's inside Coachella, and Mike Rios, who's a famous tattoo artist.
Okay.
From like Palm Springs or something in the desert. And there's no signal. Like, you can't use your devices out there.
Yeah.
So now we're stuck.
Every big festival's like that. So not too many people.
Yeah.
It fucks up cell phones. Yeah.
So we're stuck with no communication.
Yeah.
Out in the middle of Coachella on the other side of the wall of the concerts, not able to get in or out, or we're just stuck.
You couldn't sneak in?
Listen.
I don't want to spoil it for everyone.
We stuck into Coachella. Dude, we have these bracelets on, like some colored bracelet at some point we got. And we walk up to this one gate. I still got the blunt in hand. Haven't lit it yet. We walk up to the gate, and the lady's like, oh, no, guys, you can't come through here with those bracelets. Sorry. And we're like, oh, man, you sure we can't get in there or whatever? And she's like, yeah, no, it's not here. You can't do that. Okay, thank you. Let's just go smoke this blunt. We start walking, light it up. We're walking. No, that's my bad. We didn't light it up. Still haven't lit this blunt. We're walking. We go to the next gate. And we're thinking of walking away from Coachella to, like, find a hitchhike, a taxi, something.
Yeah.
But we're like, let's try one last time at this gate too, you know? And we walk right up to the gate, and we just walk like nonchalant, like confidently up to the gate. And the guy's like, "Oh, that's what they look like. Go ahead," and just let us in. We had the vests on and the bracelets. We just walk into Coachella, dude, as stagehands.
Hell yeah.
Drake is open, just got on stage. Like, boom, like Tuesday is playing. Like,
Are you a big fan of Drake?
No, but I'm Canadian, so it was kind of like
okay.
It was kind of like weird, ironic, right?
I was gonna say, if I walked in and saw Drake, I'd go to another stage.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like, we got bored quick and tried to find other shows.
Yeah.
But at this point, it was like coming to the end of the night, even, you know. Like,
but on the main stage,
main
like, to be fair, anyone on the main stage at nighttime at Coachella, they're having a fucking performance.
Yes.
There's 100,000 people there to see that.
Oh,
like,
and like the stages are decked out.
It's an event, yeah. The lights are dope.
Crazy.
You're out in the middle of fucking nowhere with cool art.
So I walk in through the gate with a blunt in my hand. Drake drops Tuesday. I look at Travis, and we're like, we just snuck into Coachella. We're just like, take the vest off, like put it in my bag and just walk, spark the blunt, walk into the crowd and just dancing with all these people. It was the craziest experience, man. It was so cool. It was just weird to sneak into Coachella. Like,
hell yeah.
And like now that I know how to do it, I'm like, I'm totally going to do that again. That's the best way to go to Coachella.
Well, I nominate myself as your right-hand man for all Coachella sneaking into.
I'm down.
Because I've been twice to the show, man. It's a fucking great time.
But it's overpriced.
It's fucking expensive.
Dude.
That's why I did it when I used to be a rich man.
Yes.
And now I'm a poor rich man.
Well, which means you're a richer man.
You think so?
Yeah.
What do you mean by that? What are you talking about?
It means that when you're poor and you're struggling, life is in a real perspective, and you're humbled on a daily basis, and being a little bit hungry is like what keeps us on our toes.
Yeah.
So if you want to redefine the word success, then you need to redefine the word rich. And rich is often like how we nourish ourselves away from money. So being poor is a sense of freedom in ways. In other ways, you feel like other pressures you're not supposed to feel necessarily if you did have money. But being rich is like being imprisoned in a little bit in a way. I've been rich, and it's not what it's cracked up to be.
Did you get rich when you're talking about your stepfather importing things? That's what it was?
For 4 years, I was like super rich.
You could buy anything you wanted?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And then it all just stopped, and we were all super poor again.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's a cool perspective, man.
Yeah, it's really cool. It was cool as a teenager getting a rich dad, poor dad experience, because that they wrote books on that bullshit. And
It's
like,
one of the most famous books. Is called
exactly.
Rich Dad Poor Dad. Yeah.
And I lived it.
Yeah.
So
Have
living
you also
it,
read the book?
I read the book.
Staying true to home.
No.
What?
And that's
Well-
what bothered me so much is that book. It's just like Gary Vaynerchuk.
Okay. In what way?
It's a lot of like, there's like these people who come along as like financial gurus, but they're masking themselves more as just like life coaches, and they're coming along with tons of charisma and a great like sense of confidence when they say things. But if you listen closely, that what they're saying is absolute common sense. And it boggles me that people don't already think these things. Like when he speaks, I'm like, yeah, what else is new? Like, tell me something I don't already know, Gary. It never happens. It never happens. I've already considered and think about everything he says. And then he goes on to try to like strip away a lot of human emotion. He starts like, telling you how you can be more tunnel visioned into capitalism. You know what I mean? And at a time like this, when we have Trump and we have like a nation that to me is an empire that is inevitably going to crumble.
As every empire does.
As every empire does, but this model is just really aggressive. Too aggressive to stand the true test of time. It's just like it's Tupac. It's thug life. It's like, I'm gonna live fast, die hard. I'm gonna go out, guns blazing. That's America. And to perpetuate that with these positive dudes, these guys who preach positivity and preach common sense, things that you should have already been thinking about constantly every day in your business or in your life. It freaks me out that there's people out there who don't. Like, legitimately don't think about these things. And then they come across Gary and they're like, oh my God, this concept is incredible and I need to share this with the world. I need to spread this positivity. Positivity is great and all, but the people who are following these types of false prophets, I call them, are chasing false profits, which is the money.
And isn't there something deeply in human nature about that? Because all throughout time, there's false prophets. And I would say, I don't know much about this Gary guy. He pops up on Facebook. I don't know.
He's huge
I don't know
now.
details. Yeah, he's very popular.
Virality, viral is a weird thing.
So there's clearly something people love about him because he keeps popping up.
Simplicity.
Yeah, and so I think the person he appeals to, man. Have you ever worked in an office?
Yes.
You know the drone of being in an office, having just terrible
speaking
small
right
talk
to those
conversations. Yeah, and that's a lot of people.
But I'm not that
And
person. I'm a gypsy. I'm
Okay,
a free
okay.
man.
Okay, but listen to this, Jesse. So, I think from your perspective, you're rich man enough to see that Gary appeals to other people and not you, not me. I don't know what he's talking about.
But when Rich
But
Dad
so
Poor
if he's
Dad,
helping out, then fucking great.
but Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Has helped a lot of people.
Okay, but what are they helping them with? Are they helping? What they're helping them with? What they're selling is confidence.
Yeah.
That's what jiu-jitsu is selling.
What a lot of people lack.
Absolutely, and that's predatory because it's kind of like you have an illness and I'm gonna sell you pills.
Mm-hmm.
So initially, I don't believe these motherfuckers when they speak. They want to sell you something.
Right.
You know, they're becoming famous for a reason. It's
Yeah.
to write books and do seminars and shit, right? Now,
Capitalist
these aren't healers.
motivations.
These aren't healers. They're not coming along with no like free, I'm just gonna change your life shit. They're gonna half inspire you and then they're gonna bring you down a long road of Tim Robbins. Okay. Now, even if that helps you, what are they helping you with? Essentially, all they're helping you with, it's not confidence. They're giving you confidence. What they're helping you with is changing your financial status. Trying to get you to get more into taxes, money, period. All things to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they want you to turn into what America's trying to turn us into. And
Which
America,
is what a lot of people want.
and the live fast, die hard mentality is what has hurt this earth so much. It's helped it. Technology is booming. It's great. Thank you, America, for what you've done. Thanks for killing the Nazis and fucking creating iPhones and shit. But like, don't you look at a native and see how fucked up you are? And how
No one
fucked
looks
up
at
they are?
natives. No one looks
Exactly.
at natives.
Exactly. Because they're too stuck into their phone. They can't
Yeah.
look up at a native. You know,
Well, but there's no
crying.
natives around, man. I'm looking around right now. I'm in America. I've been in America. I've never seen a native.
So again, as a Canadian,
They're hidden.
As
Hidden
a
very
Canadian,
carefully.
I grew up around natives.
Okay.
So my perspective in a place like this, meeting Americans who want to vote for Trump and make more money.
You know Americans who want to vote for Trump?
Holy shit, Vegas was full of them.
Really? I've never met any. I know they exist. I hear they exist. But I've never met. I don't know
like,
any.
So they're like racists.
Yeah.
Where like they'll drop the N-bomb constantly, but when there's a black guy around, they won't. They'll
Really?
like wait till they're like fully away out of right, because there's that secret like I know he could beat me up.
So where are you hanging out with these people? What are you doing with your life? Is that jiu-jitsu?
It's just that you're in a conservative state. You're in a place where, you know, you can carry a gun on your waist, open carry as a blood gangster. They're not gonna bother you. You know,
You saw a lot of guns out there?
Holy shit! It's all about guns out there. It's guns, Mormonism, gambling,
Mormons in Vegas?
how hot it is all the time. That's what it's all about.
Like, conversationally, you mean?
Yeah. And like guns.
Okay.
I said guns twice on purpose.
Mm-hmm. Did you shoot guns out there?
Oh, I can't believe you brought that up. No. So I spent 6 months begging everybody to let me shoot their gun.
Really?
I never touched a gun.
Weird.
Everyone's like, yeah, man, we're going to go out in the desert and shoot guns. All right, I'm here. It's Saturday. What's up? No. Nobody.
Interesting.
It was the most frustrating experience ever. I'm like, okay, guys, show me. I understand when you shoot a gun, it makes you feel powerful. There's this like split moment where your adrenaline spikes and your dick rises up and you're like, oh my God, I'm the man. Like, I can kill anything.
Yeah, there's a measurable testosterone increase.
100%.
That's what it is. Yeah.
And that's addictive. It's just like taking a drug.
It's really nice.
Yeah, it's like spike. You spike your hormone. It's fucking great. So when you do that, like, I get it. I get why you get this little hard on every time. So show me it. like don't hide it from me. They didn't let me shoot the guns. I don't know what's up, man.
I feel for you, man. Dude, last time I was in Louisiana, we were down there for a wedding. I was hanging out with my cousins. 30 minutes off the plane, I was hanging out with my cousins, and we had like an awkward moment in conversation. An awkward moment that you or I maybe would be like, okay, do you want to fucking smoke some weed? Or, you know, just one of those things. Just throwing it out there, like, do you want to do some jiu-jitsu? Or,
Yeah.
And so there's
Is
like,
this
should we shoot some guns now? Like, just the first, like, yep, I'll grab beer, let's go! And, like, we're hanging out, dude, we're hanging out in this, like, it's like, I don't know, like a camping area. There's, like, a big place you can fish, but it's, like, cabins that no one lives at full-time.
Oh, okay.
It's one of those places. And so you had to go to check in with a guy if you're going to go shoot.
Okay.
So they went in and checked in, like, hey, we got some cousins here from California. The guy busts out of the place, like, California? Bet they ain't seen so many niggas in their whole life.
Whoa.
It's the first, nice to meet you.
That's real, man.
That's a real place.
It's a real place, dude.
But sitting here in my backyard, I don't run into these people that often. So I have to kind of remember and have to tell people. But honestly, man, it might as well not exist. I don't see these people. That's like a lot of people try to bring like social issues to me. Like just sitting here the other night, man, we're talking about like my friend asked me if I'd ever take testosterone increases, and I was like, dude, I'd fucking love to. I just assume it's expensive. Like, I don't have any money. But yeah, as an idea, like, that sounds great. He's like, but dude, there's a stigma. What's up with that? I was like, I don't know about any stigma. I don't know what you just. He's like, but what about other people? This is a big thing, like, when you talk about issues and philosophy with people, they say, what about if someone else does it? I'm like, I don't know, man. I've never been them. I don't know what it's like to be them.
I'm not someone else. So
I don't know.
Like,
you know, anytime an athlete gets caught for anything, they're like, would you do that if you were him?
Yeah.
Would you take steroids if you were LeBron James? If you were John Jones, would you take penis pills?
Yeah.
Like, obviously I would. Like, I don't know. What do you mean? Like, that sounds, I'm sure it's great. I'm sure it's a fun life. To be John Jones slinging around your Bentley with bitches in the car, like, who wouldn't want that? Like,
fully hard naked.
Yeah. If you hit a pregnant lady and you were the light heavyweight champion of the world, would you run away from the car?
Maybe he ran because he had a hard on and he was embarrassed. He didn't want.
He didn't want her to see. I don't think he has that much shame.
No.
Anyway, but my point is, man, like, a lot of people try to say that, like, would you do this if you were him?
Yeah.
If you were Jesse, would you
argument.
just leave California and go to Toronto to start a gym? Like,
It's a poor
Yeah,
argument.
that's exactly what I would do if I was him. I don't know. Probably. I'd probably do exactly
Is that what he wants to do? Then yes.
Is that what he chose from his perspective? Yeah, he's been him his whole life. That's what he wanted to do.
Yeah, there's a lot of cop-out arguments.
Yeah, but dude, I think it's about time to start going to some questions.
Some hard questions.
I started doing this a couple podcasts ago, writing out questions and things. I didn't even look at it. We've been talking for 42 minutes.
Holy, dude. No one's going to listen to us for 42 minutes.
Dude, you'd be surprised, man.
Cool.
We got some guys in the Monster Squad who works in offices.
Nice.
Shout out to all those guys. You're doing the Lord's work.
Listen to this one, please.
It's too late.
They're like, we made it this far.
You already
Jesse.
have them. Like, what are you
We've been listening
convincing
for
me to do?
43 and a half minutes.
Please, if you're listening, start this over from the beginning. Tell some bullshit. But dude, so a big reason why I wanted to talk to you today, I wanted to let people know, I wanted to take a photo or something. We had a great private with you the other day, man. It was fucking cool.
Oh,
You
I
showed
got
me some
shut
great
off quick,
mobility
though.
stuff. No, man, it was fine. But like the things you did show me, man, like we got to hang out for like an hour and like you showed me all those stick drills, all this mobility stuff.
Yeah.
Because you've been doing mobility for a while now, right? Like I saw you doing a thing in
Yeah.
Vegas, like
I was
classes.
doing it 4 times a week, 5 times a week, but I was like for sure 4 times a week. Every morning at 6:30 a.m. at the Las Vegas Movement Club inside of 10 Planet Las Vegas.
Cool. And you had people showing up and doing stick drills?
I had some people showing up. Not enough people showed up. I wish more people showed up.
How
People don't
many
really
people need to
understand
show
how
up?
important. How many people need to show up?
Yeah.
Well, when I think of how important it is, like when I saw that I was healing people, and I saw how it changed my energy levels and how good it made me feel, and how it was like I found an elixir. Like I found like the fountain of youth. It was like you have magic in your hand, and you're like, I need every single person in Henderson and Las Vegas to be in this gym at 6:30 in the morning.
So here's a big problem with that, Jesse. 6:30 in the morning. Because I believe you. I'm a follower of Jesse Bell. I love mobility. No fucking way am I getting there at 6:30.
Well, that's the thing. I don't believe in doing anything before 10 a.m.
What do you mean by that? Anything?
Anything before 10 a.m.
So, define anything though. You do mobility before 10 a.m.
Like you can drink a coffee and jerk off. That's about all.
No stick drills, no jiu-jitsu?
Nothing.
What are you talking about? You have
Because-
6:30 classes.
No, it's just science says so. Science is like chill out, wait till past 10 a.m. before you start getting on with your day. Don't go and start jumping over hurdles and stuff. Like it's a real thing. Like in science, they'll tell you like it's good for you to not go out and run before 10 a.m.
So then why did you have 6:30 classes?
Because Vegas is a hustler city. Like that's people trying to make money. That's all they think about. And I was hoping that I was catering to people who were trying to get up early and go get. You know, I was saying, you guys complain, you know, about other times of the day. So like, how about we do it when there's no work? You know, because everyone either out there either works all day or all night. Most people actually work all night.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, which is why I didn't do it on weekends, because I knew people were gonna be like that on weekends. But during the week, it was like 6:30. Is if you're about this life, if you're really trying to be healthy, you need to wake up the right way, open up your spine, open up your brain, your cognitive processes, everything. Make yourself feel like $1 million, then go make that money. That's how we make money. Is we make ourselves feel good first, so that we project that airness into the world, and then everyone gets attracted to us, and that's how opportunities come.
Man, after one session of mobility with you, I was like, where the fuck can I buy a stick?
Yes.
That's my first thought. And then my second thought was, what's the biggest stick I can take on airplanes?
Yes.
Like a walking stick?
So I'm sure there's extendable stuff, but you should get a.
That stick stuff was good, man.
I took a picture of every page of a certification for stick mobility. I could send you some of those pages, but some of them have these sticks that bend, like they can curve like that much, right?
Mm-hmm.
You need to look into getting some of those. Those are what really hit like the deep parts of mobility that a normal stick cannot.
Sounds like Jesse Bell's about to open up a mobility, movement, technique, tool selling website.
I'll tell you what.
Videos, instructionals, monthly premiums.
It was so
lacrosse
healthy.
balls,
It was so
sticks.
healthy for my day-to-day lifestyle. Like it changed my the way I felt so much that, and it helped me cure people's actual thing like injuries so much that it's something when I move away and I ever start my own gym, it'll be a 6:30 a.m. every morning mobility class going down.
And how close are you to building this gym? You've been talking about this for a while.
I'm not going to build a gym because I don't have any money.
Okay.
But I'm going to start a 10th Planet program inside of Toronto, Canada.
How long until you think this opens? Do you have a projected date?
Yesterday.
Or a time frame?
No.
Yesterday? The best time would have been 20 years
I would like
ago.
to do it in the next few months.
Okay. It's ambitious, man. I love it.
Yeah.
Are you doing this with your brother?
Yes.
What's up with your brother?
My
He's
brother.
a 10 Planet guy?
He's a 10 Planet purple belt, Mike Romano. He's the actual genius. Like, so I'm the technical guy. He's the athlete. He's a really good athlete.
Competitor?
He's younger than I am. He's a competitor, and he's the mobility expert. So the reason why I know this stuff is because of my brother Mike.
Cool.
Yeah, so I always tell people that, like, yeah, you think I'm like all this mobility guy, but like I don't know shit. Like me and my brother, when we get to like when we do this project, are gonna sign up for Agatsu Fitness, which is the home of movement and mobility. It's where Ito Proto's peers come from.
Gatsu, that's the name of a place?
Agatsu, yeah.
That's a gym?
Yeah.
Okay.
So like these people make us feel like we're lying to people. You
Right.
know, like they're true healers. They know everything.
Cool. So is that your goal, to be a healer?
Well, no, I'm not really into that word healer. I think a lot of people get an ego about them when they think that they're healers. It's a very spiritual term, healing.
What's wrong with that?
It just bothers me. Like there's like
It's got a lot of baggage
there's something that there's
associated.
things that are therapeutic, and then there's people who have the entitlement that they're guiding people into wellness, and it's like, no, people are guiding themselves. You're doing what Gary's doing.
So here seems to be the difference to me. It seems to be the same actions, the same steps, the same exercises, but one of them has an ego, the other one is without ego.
It's not even an you know what it is? It's that it's sad that people are so gullible that they need to attach to somebody else to find what's so obvious within themselves. That bothers me. Like the most spiritual people often aren't that in touch with, like, aren't reflecting enough.
What
like,
people are these?
The people who follow. You know, like people who follow other spiritual gurus for their answers. That's what's sad. It's not that some guy found a way to make an opportunity.
Okay, I have a different perspective for you, Jesse. So I'm a guy, I've traveled the world, I've hung out with cults, I've been to many meditation things. I think the most spiritual cult I've been a part of is 10th Planet Jiu Jitsu.
100%.
We have guys we follow. If Casey Halstead's in the room and I'm thinking about doing one thing and he says the
100%.
other,
So
I do what he says.
If you want to say that jiu-jitsu
sad?
is my spirituality, fair enough.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. So in that way, I can't hate on anyone who joins any cult because
No.
they're doing the same thing we are, man.
No,
They're
I can't,
getting a
but-
place, they're making friends, they're doing it for love, they're filling holes in their heart, which everyone has. It's not their fault. Like, dude, there's a great movie on Netflix now called Holy Hell, where it's 22 years in this cult. This guy's filming the whole thing. It's amazing.
Yeah.
After 22 years, it comes out, the cult leader's fucking all the guys, and, like, all this weird shit comes out. And then they ask the people, like, so how do you feel about it now? And they're like, oh, it was still the most fun thing I've ever done, and I still loved every bit of it. I don't go anymore because the dude's a creep, and he's fucking me in the ass, and I didn't like that.
Yeah.
But, you know, I liked everything else.
Yeah.
And so I kind of think there's something in human nature that people just want to be together.
Well-
and if it takes a cult leader, fucking go to that cult.
Well, here's what I don't
Do what
like.
you gotta
I
do,
don't
guys.
I don't like people selling bullshit. So 10th Planet's not bullshit. It's just grappling.
But you know a lot of people who would call it bullshit. And you
Yes.
can't hate on them, man. Just
No, I can hate
let
on them
think.
because I'm not calling their thing bullshit.
But okay, but here's why
I'm not calling their grappling bullshit.
But here's what I meant by don't. Like, why spend the mental energy on these people? Like, if
I'm not
they call
spending
it
any mental-
bullshit,
I'm just
fucking
trying to
let
clear
them
up.
be.
I'm trying to
Let
clear
them
up
be.
why one is a priority over the other. One's more important.
But
one
in-
deserves
in-
more respect than the other.
In your life from your perspective.
Yes.
Your limited life from your limited perspective.
Yes.
And I, having, you know, we grew up in the same continent and everything, have a very similar perspective to you. I like 10th Planet. I'm not joining these cults. But I might someday, man. I might join a good cult.
No, okay, so-
I like to dip my toes into cults.
So let's look at another cult. Let's look at a karate dojo. Okay, it's a cult. That's a religion. That's
But
spirituality
so here's the thing.
involved.
I've never been to a karate dojo, man. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, well, I'm
I
explaining
know
to
the
you. You're doing a
archetype.
lot of punching and kicking,
Okay.
and you're doing meditation.
Sounds great.
Yeah, that's not bad.
I'm into all these things.
Yeah,
Exercise.
and they're teaching you about like morality.
Sounds
You
good.
know how to carry yourself, respect, integrity, things like
Sold.
this. There's a lot of concentration and movements that are like calculated, involve like katas, and it's martial arts.
Sounds great.
Okay, you've seen like the Karate Kid. It's like something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's bullshit, right? In
Which,
the end of
which
the day,
part?
well, that it's not an actual scientifically effective thing.
Okay. Well, okay. Scientifically effective to promote a better life. If you're hanging out with your friends, you're exercising, and you're meditating, sounds like your life will improve. But you are thinking about in terms of reaching a goal, winning a fight, being in the UFC.
No.
Street
No.
fights.
I want people to be doing genuine things. And if something's not genuine, because it's not, karate's not genuine.
What if you show up and you laugh? Is that genuine?
Yes, but
What if
that
you show up and you
laughter,
feel love?
Laughter is available everywhere.
Yeah.
Martial arts are specific. You need to like go get them. And if you're gonna go get them, you want to have a room full of like people who are gonna like make you feel good every day. At least go do it in an environment that's real.
And so,
Now,
what part's not real? Because I would say
they were wrong
nothing's
about
real.
its effectiveness, and
Who's
they were
they?
wrong. This fucking white guys in America who fell in love with ancient Chinese traditions and like took them back here and got all nerdy about it, and then started getting egos about it, and then started like thinking that they can beat people up with it, and then that's something that happened in the 70s.
Okay, so you're talking about guys who got the karate, set up everything beautifully, and then developed an ego. So what about a guy, I met a guy in La Jolla in San Diego, a surfer, owns a karate school, he's 60, he's fit, he invited me into his gym, showed me some kicks, has a good kids program, he's not trying to win a fight, he's not promoting its effectiveness. What about that guy? You have a problem with that guy?
No, I don't have a problem with that guy's character. In fact, I don't have a problem with the leaders themselves, the false prophets themselves, because I get them. They're gangsters.
Yeah.
I'm a gangster myself.
They're living a good life.
I can totally relate to the game they're playing. It's a game, though, is what I'm saying.
It's the same game we're playing.
What I say is weird is how gullible people are to bullshit.
Yeah.
And when you're gonna go identify yourself with an entire group in belief, like make sure you're doing it. Like don't fucking be a Scientologist.
Why not?
Come on, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't even need to explain it sometimes. Sometimes
You do,
you're
but
just
like, okay, so I don't know
stop
the
being
details.
so politically correct is what it comes down to. Stop going like we need to be sensitive about other people's beliefs. Some things are real and some things are not real.
Who's to say?
Science mostly.
Okay.
You
So
know?
what's unscientific about Scientology?
Fuck.
How much time do we have?
Yeah.
I'm playing devil's advocate a lot, Jesse. I
know.
agree with a lot you're saying.
I know. And I love the devil's advocate game because it makes it more clear to me. You know, when people devil advocate me, it just like it gets to a point where it goes, bam, there is no argument after that.
Okay,
I ended it. It's just someone else going totally into the like universe now. Like just it could be anything, you know.
So here's what I think all these things kind of boil down to. And maybe I heard the story a long time ago. Maybe my thinking is a little bit off with it, but it's an old Buddhist story. The Buddha, he was traveling around India. He was just another one of these false prophets.
Yeah.
Just another guy preaching a good thing. He was a happy guy. People liked him. So he was the most famous guy of his type, of which there were a lot.
Yeah.
And so everywhere he went, many people would come to him. He got famous in India. People came to him with questions. They'd ask him about like before time, after time, what happens after you die, reincarnation, karma, all these things. And the Buddha, he didn't want to answer any of their questions. So he just got fed up. In the same way, I got fed up with like my friend asking me about stigmas and things that I know nothing about, things I'm not a part of. I don't know anything about karate. I don't care about the feud. I don't care when people argue gi versus no gi. I don't give a fuck, man.
Yeah.
It's all the same thing to me. It's all the same. It's just people trying to be nice and make friends.
Yeah.
But anyway, so the Buddha, he tells this story where he's like, if we're in battle and you get hit with a poison arrow, and I come up to you and say, for you to live, I need to take out this arrow. Would you stop me and say, but where is the arrow from? What kind of wood is this? What's the name of the poison? Who shot it? What was his caste? What does his dad do? Or do you want the arrow out? And so I think when you're doing mobility, exactly.
Get the arrow out of me. Tell me who the fuck shot me. They're dead.
But first is the arrow.
Yes.
So the most immediate thing is the relief of suffering, which I think all of these people we've been talking about, that is their goal. But I think what you are criticizing is their technique to achieve that.
What I'm criticizing is their
which
intelligence.
Is an endless process.
I'm criticizing their intelligence.
What the fuck is intelligence, though? Isn't that just
it
being
seems like
human
some
in an
people.
environment?
It seems like some people just blindly do things.
Okay, what's the difference between intelligence and education? Is there a difference?
Yes. Education is like the journey towards intelligence.
Okay. So someone who's not educated can't be intelligent.
No, someone who's not educated is not intelligent in academics.
Okay, so an academic person slinging false beliefs can school this person and market themselves and get their money easily.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's wrong with this whole thing, this whole loop of followers to leaders and stuff, is they're relieving the suffering of people immediately.
Yeah.
But they're perpetuating the suffering of mankind in the long run.
Yes.
And that's my problem, is like the longer we keep up believing in weird bullshit, the more it just makes makes us like holds us back.
Do you know my biggest analogy for this, man? Sitcoms. Sitcoms are low-level entertainment.
Yes.
They're mildly funny, but they're insanely popular.
Yes.
How many fucking people love How I Met Your Mother?
Yes.
I've never laughed out loud to How I Met Your Mother. I've seen a couple episodes. It's kind of funny.
I don't like it.
Repeatedly. But my point is, man, people are into that. They like that low level. It helps you a little bit. These are people you recognize. He's not going to cheat on his wife. He's not going to be shocking.
I watched
people are into that.
Law and Order SVU. I never
My
watched
mom
it before.
fucking loves that. She
I never
watches
watched
it
it before.
all day, every day.
Yeah.
It's the same mentality.
Not terrible. Like, I'm not going to say like
It's a good show.
Yeah, it's not. It's
a good
exactly
show.
for what television is. Fine.
But you're not going to learn anything.
No. But when
Nothing useful.
when you marathon it back to back to back to back for like 8 episodes, you realize you just spent your whole day watching rape.
Yeah.
Like, just so much negativity, like so much rape and sex. The word sex is used so much, and it's like in a negative way all the time, and it's so sad.
Dude, I was
dramatic.
watching my mom watch SVU yesterday, wondering like what it is
Yeah.
that she likes. I think at this point it's just habit. You know what I mean?
Yes,
like
and you're
it's a
into
good
it.
enough show to get you into the habit.
Yeah.
And then from there it could take any shape.
And
it could be a
this is
sitcom,
why-
it could be SVU.
This is why I avoid watching all of these series.
Good. I'm on your side with that.
Even
man.
if it's HBO, guys. I don't. I don't care. I don't care how good you think Game of Thrones is. I really don't care.
You never seen it?
No, I've seen it. And it's awful.
What?
I watched like 2 episodes, and I was like, "This is bullshit."
The first
this is
two?
a sex-driven Lord of the Rings.
Did you like Lord of the Rings?
Love Lord of the Rings because
Did
it
you
is
think
what
there's
it is.
Not
It's
enough sex.
fantasy. The innocence of that type of fantasy world needs to be present still. To have like.
It needs to be present in other things.
You just need the gay hobbits, dude. Like, you need them. You can't have this like this serious. Like, okay, I loved medieval things growing up. I loved it. Like,
Okay.
my favorite movies were like Excalibur,
Black
and all those
Knight?
things. Sure,
Black Knight?
Yeah. Remember like the dragon one, Dragon Quests, and like I don't know, but
Okay.
I just loved anything that medieval, like Mad Mortigan from like Willow was like one of my favorite characters as a kid. Okay, you don't know what I'm talking about.
I don't know.
Exactly. I love medieval stuff, and even the serious ones, the ones that are just like the wars and drama the whole time. Like, it's cool because it's like the flashy weapons. Like, let's get a war going any second now. Like, this is awesome.
Has there been anything good in this genre in a while? Like new? Like I'm trying
Game
to
of
think of a
Thrones.
movie. Is there like a movie or anything about like knights? I don't really remember.
I don't really know.
Yeah.
But I was all about it as a kid, but now I'm just seeing the cheap repetitiveness of it. Where we love to come back with the bell bottoms every once in a while.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like,
Life is cyclical.
yeah, it's like my mom saw this twice already, you know, or like 3 times already. Like, when do we start progressing with human intelligence instead of repeating the same old shit we already know constantly?
So
Gary, stop repeating shit. Stop regurgitating stuff I think about when I sit in my room. And if you're not thinking about it, you're not intelligent. That's what it comes down to.
That's the baseline. That's where you draw the line in the
That's
sand.
where I draw the line.
If
I'm
you
like-
don't think my exact fucking thoughts, like what are you talking about, man?
Not my exact thoughts. Not my exact thoughts.
You
Gary's
don't think
exact
in
thoughts.
English.
Gary's exact
Well,
thoughts.
people
Because that's
don't-
what he's saying. He's saying it's just common sense. It's just logic. Like, you just gotta do this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, don't you feel that way already? And a lot of people are like, no, Gary, this is news to me.
Yeah.
Those people are freaking me out, and there are endless amounts of them. And I realize now, you know, a lot of them were raised like very
Not very well.
in a closed-minded way because they're part of cults.
So that's why
Weird
you
cults.
can't blame them, man.
Well, I just think my
That's
cult
why
is a little
I
more
can't blame 'em.
open-minded than theirs
Okay.
because
good.
we're all a part of cults.
Fucking love your cult, man. I think that's a good message. We're gonna wrap this up, man. I gotta pee. We're out of water.
My bad.
We got some weed to smoke. You're all good, man. I fucking loved it. I love the things you're saying. Anybody listening, I don't know how much longer you're gonna be in town. If you're a 10th Planet member in Orange County, call up Jesse Bell. Get some fucking privates under your belt. This man is a master. He knows mobility. He taught me some good shoulder stuff. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling stretched out. We did some warm-ups. I'm hitting the honey hole now. I wasn't hitting it for the first 25 years of my life. And in the past week, I've hit it 3 times.
Nice.
Thanks to Jesse Bell. Check him out in Toronto in the future.
Yeah. In the meantime, though, while I'm here, any of the Monster Squad people, if you're still listening, I'll give you $20 privates.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
$20 privates.
Yeah.
You heard it here. Call them up, you fucks. It's the best thing you can do in your life. And besides that, I love you. Thanks for listening. Enjoy your cult. If you're in one, just I hope it's a good one. Don't be afraid to leave. Don't be afraid to leave.
No. The real message here is just don't be a dumbass.
Try not to be a dumbass. Do your best.
But
if you find yourself being a dumbass, that's
as
okay
Red
too.
Fox would say from the '70s show. Hey, great sitcom.
All right. Good night, guys. Bye.